Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about calipers. So, calipers is a tool that you use to measure your parts. So, there's like digital calipers, there's also analog, um, call it like dial calipers. They usually measure up to 6 inches. But you can see here, this is an example from Amazon. I think I actually got the same one. It looks pretty similar. So, you can see my caliper here. And this is probably the single most important item you, as a designer, should own. You can see the way it works is, let's see if I can get a nice picture. Yeah, so the way it works is you have this little knob here, down here, right? You could actually use your thumb to move it back and forth, like so. And this will help you adjust based on the thing you're measuring. So, if I have an item here, I could use it and then push it until it touches, and then I could read off on here the dimension, and you could zero it if you wanna. You could close the caliper all the way, and then you could hit the zero to make sure that you're starting at the right value, and then you can also change the different dimensions here with this button. But basically, when you're trying to make parts fit, if you have designing one part to make it fit to another part, you usually want to measure it to know how big to design it, or if certain things don't fit, you could measure it to check what's wrong. So there's like different ways you can measure it. Um, this end here is good for measuring holes, so you could fit the two ends inside a hole, or you could use this to measure outside of a part by clamping on it. And then at the very end, there's actually a part called a depth stick. So you could here, I don't know if you can see it, but you could like lower it into, maybe you want to see how deep a hole is, or the height of something. You could use a depth stick to measure it, and you could read off. You could read off either here if you more if you like to read off like a ruler, or for me, I just like to read off the menu here. So they also provide it's powered by battery, so if it dies, you need to get a new battery. But these are pretty cheap. You can see Amazon. This one's only 13 bucks, but there's a lot of different brands you could consider out there. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend anyone to get a caliper if you want to get into designing, and you'll just be able to make sure your parts fits and everything is the way you expect it. Okay, so of course we talked about tolerancing in the previous one. This will be very important when you're dealing with fit and you need to check your tolerance, especially if you have like a 3D printer at home and you want to see how your parts fitting. You might want to print something, measure it, and then if it doesn't work, you might have to reprint it and test it out. But generally speaking, I would say just try to make your part a little bit looser if it doesn't have to be a tight fit. That way you don't have to worry about things not fitting properly. Okay, so that summarizes calipers. Definitely should get one and try it out. If you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.